Hello, everyone. Chris is here, and today I'm coming to you with the answer or my answer. It is more of a personal experience that I think will come in handy for you with for managing nervousness. Um, it doesn't really matter if we are beginners or intermediates or advanced. There's always going to be that person that's always going to be better than us, and that person will probably make us feel nervous because we want to do well. We want them to think that we are good dancers. We want them to have a good time. We want to look good when dancing with them. All these things. So um, some things apply to some people, some things apply to other people, and all of the things apply to some people. So uh, the what I did today, and this is what uh, sparked the idea for this video, was capoeira. So I wanted to go and try out the Brazilian martial arts, and a friend was going, and she said, "Why don't you come in, try it out, and see how it goes?" So I went, and it was amazing. So at some point in the beginning, we're working in partners, but you know already what you're doing. We did some, you do a warm up in the beginning. You do sort of some mirror imaging exercises, and then some technical exercises. That one is like for kicks, for example. That's at least what we did this time. So one is holding that little matty thing, and you're kicking in it, and then um, that is the big moment of being in a nice big circle. I don't know if you've seen them on videos, or maybe you guys have tried it out. So you have a nice big circle, and then two people hop in and they start improvising. So I was like, oh, it was, it's like tango basically, but not tango. So I went over to the teacher and I'm like, oh, so how do you start? So who initiates? And he goes, there's nobody initiates. You know your stuff. The other person knows their stuff. You um, say hello to each other as you walk in, and you start, and then you act and react to what the other person is doing. And every person's energy is different, so you're managing your energy in the same way. You're offering back. So he gave a really good example of, for example, why some people, what would you do if when someone is really powerful and is coming to get you in a way, and you have the option to respond back and be very aggressive as well, or you have the option to do something to cool things off, to show that you're not you're not playing that way. So it's not a lead and follow, is more of a conversation. So I was like, oh, this is very interesting. This is tango material. But aside from that, the other thing that is brought me to making this video is that I was feeling extremely nervous. So he goes, "Don't worry, nobody hops in the circle on their first day, and so on and so forth. So don't worry, just watch, see what other people are doing. Just try to notice these little things that we talked about." It's like, oh, okay, sure, okay, observing. Remember, observe. So I gave myself permission to just observe. You don't have to go in, just observe. So here I was standing there observing, and my friend goes to me, "Come on, let's go in, let's go." I was like, "Oh, I don't know what to do." She's like, "You're just gonna do the things that you just learned. You learned two things. I really learned actually two things. So really two things. So you're just gonna do those two things. and then respond to what I'm doing. So you can mirror me if you want. You have it respond like when a kick comes, respond to the kick, following the kick, not going towards it, and so on and so forth. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was feeling very, very nervous. I didn't want, and the reason I was feeling nervous wasn't because, they're going to see that I suck. Of course, you suck. It's the first time you go there. That wasn't the problem. The problem was that they were having such a good time, and I knew that her, playing playing capoeira with me, it it wouldn't be fun. And I really preferred to watch than to be there. And there were some people who were very skillful and they were doing really, really nice stuff. And so I was very, very reluctant and a little bit nervous. So very nervous. And but she insisted, so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give it a try. So I walk in, and she's like, relax, just follow me. Follow exactly. I'm not gonna do anything funny. I'm just gonna do exactly what you did in class. And so, what if I give you a kick? And she would give me the verbal cues, and she was like, "Oh, okay. So you tug under. Oh, awesome. All right. So you try." So we tried it together. Then we did a cartwheel, and we played around, and then that was the end. And then another person hops in because I think if I got it correctly, this might not be true, but I think you walk in and then one person stays and then a new person comes in. So now I'm doing capoeira with a new person, another person that I didn't know, and he does the same thing. He keeps it very, very simple because we were together in the class. It was an low-level class, so he knew that I just walked in, and he's like, "Okay, just give me a kick," and I give him a kick, and then he gives me a kick, and I duck under, and you're just, then there's a little turn, and there's another kick, and all these stuff, and that just builds on mirror imaging, on conversation, on trying, on attempting things, and not attempting things. And at some point, he's like, "Okay, just give me a kick." But it was in that moment I thought of you guys. I was in that moment. It was like, okay, let me remember. I know. Let me just do that one kick that I just learned, but I was caught in between how to do the kick and not to kick him, because you can actually kick the other person in the face. You wouldn't want that to do that. So I was in that moment of how to do a kick and not kicking him, and still keep going. And it was like I lift my leg and then stop. I was like, oh, sorry. And well, that was the end of our time, because they're timed for each couple. But bottom line, bottom line to this is, I think there is this moment, especially if you're doing tango for some time. If you up your game with your practice, so if when you're practicing up here, you you push yourself, not necessarily with how many hours you do, but more of on, and not necessarily like really hard hard practices necessarily for the body. Maybe it's something very simple, but the mental work that's happening is really intense. So if you up your game when you're practicing, then when you're playing, which is a milonga, you can play down here. So up your game when you are practicing, so you can play down here and feel comfortable and be playful and have fun. So if you're always practicing here, then there's no room really here in between. You would be like, or you would be always like me when I was like, oh, how do you do that kick? Oh, your mind is always going to be running around those rules, and always feeling insecure about how you connect with the other person, how you read the other person, how you listen to the other person. Um, just like the first day, just like the first milonga, just like the first capoeira game. And I think that is the answer to that question that started all this. I if I can remember maybe this is a paraphrase, but if I can remember correctly, it said, I feel nervous when dancing with someone, and because of my nervousness that I'm not going to get it right, I I don't collect the feet and I lose my balance. So we talked about collecting the feet, and we will be talking about that even more next week. But for Sunday, because uh, it's the Sunday, it's Idea Day. I wanted you to think about that and um, think about what makes you nervous, and think about how you can push yourself just a little bit more when you're practicing, so you can relax when you're dancing in a milonga in a social environment. So the more you push yourself in the practice, the more playful you will be able to be on the dance floor, the less nervous you're going to be on the dance floor, the more you will be able to listen to your partner, connect to your partner, and respond, share, act, and react. So compared to being always reactive because you're not sure, you're not listening, um, you're not picking up on the cues, you're always preoccupied about technique or about steps or about things that you cannot fix on the dance floor. So that is my suggestion to you. A, find what makes you feel nervous. B, around that, push yourself on the practice, level up on your practice, and then you will be able to play freely at a little bit lower level of technique, if we can put it that way, um, but a new level of awareness, of being, of dancing. If we can sort of put these in two different columns. So that is it for today. Something a little bit different than usual, but I wanted to share my experience with you guys. I know you're going to understand. If you're doing capoeira, if you've done capoeira, and you can help me with any tips, that would be awesome. Any tips? Like I hate asking for tips just like that because it's not helpful. If you've been doing capoeira, what my most important question to you would be, what was uh, the the mistake you made as beginners, and or the mistake that you see many beginners make. So if you're still taking capoeira classes and you see new people coming in, what is the most common mistake they make? I would like to avoid it. So, if you don't know what capoeira is, there are some links on YouTube. I'm sending it with the email for Sunday. They're very, very interesting in how they the two people in the circle communicate. It's fully improvised, just like tango. And if you go to any classes, you'll also get to play the drums and get to sing. Yes, I did all that this Saturday, so I was quite kind of happy because I'm also working on a musicality online course. So that's another thing. If you want a course like that, send me your requests, questions, ideas, things that you've struggled with. I want to hear all about it because, as the same as Intelligent Tango, um, which is more of a technical, more of a technical course, I want to make an online course for you. So it is musicality. I know the standard stuff that you need to know. I know the non-standard stuff that I'm pretty sure are gonna help you, but I want to know also what you're missing, what you've been challenged by, and what you want answers to. So send me your questions and requests and ideas and thoughts, and I'll talk to you very soon.